injured here. 1v1 Ashes of Typhon. Blue side. It's Kalzi4 playing a Lord General. Starts off with this retinue to help him out. Fights range combat. Has very good defense and support. Up against on the red side, it's Fear as a Plague Champion. Starts off range combat with this damage over time bolter. Quite versatile. Can be fearsome in melee combat. Can build turrets and repair, but lacks mobility. Ashes of Typhon. Pretty decent 1v1 map, I think. Natural VPs along the west side here and a contested VP on the east side. Chaos Space Marines on the field for Fear. Some more Black Legion. Chaos players too lazy to change the default colour scheme, I think. Kalzi4 with double guardsman and a sentinel in between. Tier 1 vehicle that can decap points but cannot cap them. Now going to harass these Chaos Space Marines. You notice Kalzi4 positioning the sentinel behind them so they can't shoot at it while they are capping. Units will only shoot at things that they can see right in front of them while they cap. Plague Champion goes back to try and take that wreck point. Sentinel cannot cap this VP, so he's just going to walk past it. Lord General's coming up the east side though. Both players have their natural quite quickly. We have these strange eastern edge power points which rarely see any action, but Kalzi is going to cap it. Double CSM for Fear. Heretics now being harassed by the Sentinel. Start off as a melee squad. Very fragile but reasonably dangerous with their Doom Blast if they are supported. Don't really want to put them 1v1 versus anything though. 497, 500, a 2-to-1 cap for Fear. You've got to put Fear as the favourite in any big engagement now with double CSM versus double Guardian and Sentinel. Pressure on this Sentinel straight away. Here come Guardsmen to repair, and there is the double repair. Now we have some Nurgle worship though, so I think Kalzi4 is going to want to back off this engagement. There he goes. 484, 500, perhaps a heavy weapon squad and some catechins to protect the heavy weapon squad from any possible raptors. Be pretty strong for Kalzi right now. We'll see what he goes for. Does he have the ground pound? He does. 50 requisition, 15 power for this. Kalzi4 takes the eastern VP, and Fear never capped this power, or maybe it was decapped. Double CSM now chasing him around this rock. Looks like they're going to decap. And Heretics take that central power. Plague Champion trying to decap stuff now, and does. Here come the double guardsmen with their las guns. Both of them, no. None of them have their sergeant up, so at 6 models, usually one of the first purchases an Imperial Guard player makes are his sergeants. Kalzi4 getting catechins on the field quickly though. Heretics are going to wipe and do wipe. That's how fragile Heretics can be without their aspiring champion. Sentinel being double repaired and Chaos Space Marines are forced off. You see the Lord General here forcing melee. It's actually very, very useful commander for tying things up in melee. Decent amount of health that he starts with, as you can see, with that retinue, which will always die before him. 484, 487, it's a 1-to-1 cap. East side is uncapped, nobody interested in capping it so far. Looks like we have Flamer Guardsmen are going to try and hit this power node. There's no generators on it and the Sergeant is on the way. They'll take them up to 9 models, allowed to reinforce 2 at a time, and Noise Marines on the field for Fear. Replaced his Fallen Heretics also. Noise Marines, such an awesome little unit. Their Sonic Blaster does really good area of effect damage. Can also shake structures apart and disable ranged weapons. They also disable grenade throws as well with this weapon. Going to be very nasty for Guardsmen, certainly. Catechins in retreat, they have their Demolition Man, and we see the demo charge here. Fear perhaps guessing that there's a charge around there somewhere because he completely avoided going mid. Does not have a detector yet. Aspiring Champion Heretics are the detector for Chaos in Tier 1. 484, 479. Guardsmen capping his power up. Here come Noise Marines though. This is going to be nasty. They do serious amounts of damage. Look at this. In retreat, can they get away without a loss? Looks like they most likely will, yes. Here come Heretics a bit late, still in the default melee state. Plague Champion getting some damage over time. Attacks in pretty decent at taking out retreating units because of that damage over time. Artillery spotters now for Kalzi. Call in off-map mortar shell, can also call in a smoke shell and an incendiary shell in tier 2. Really good for shutting down setup teams. The smoke shell would also be great versus the noise marines, which have to get relatively close to use their sonic blaster. Fear should be looking to harass power now, I think, with those noise marines. Sentinel is there, spotters are there, guardsmen are there. What's this mid? It's Catechins. Are they going to go harass the VP or the power? Looks like the power. Double spotters for Kalzi4. Have seen him run this before. Catechins are putting down an improvised explosive. There it is. It will be infiltrated, so there's pretty much no way for Fear to see it now because he doesn't have his Grand Champion. There's the smoke shell from the spotters. The huge advantage that spotters have is that they can do all of their awesome disruption and debuff from relatively safe range, since their shells do not need line of sight and have pretty good range as well. So you can do all of it without pretty much being shot at all if you can micro them well. 442, 469. Very, very low risk unit compared to other setup counters generally who have to jump in and get involved. And it's a good thing because they're pretty expensive to reinforce these guys. 442, 464 Sentinel decaps the contested VP, and look at this, Lord General on a capping frenzy, going to decap this fully matured wreck point. And there's a double for Kalzi. More heretics for Fear. There's a shell, what's it going to be? It's the smoke. Reduces range to almost nothing, and there was the mortar shell as well. And another mortar shell on the heretics with these double spotters. This is going to be awesomely interesting to see if he can pull this off. Guardsmen in retreat, here come those noise marines, bad news for those spotters. Sentinel comes in for the stomp and misses it. It does have reasonably short range. Now taking a lot of damage from all those bolters firing, needs to back off. The damage over time from the Plague Champion does work on the Sentinels because they only have heavy infantry armor. 442, 404. Heretics are gonna engage the Lord General in melee, it looks like. The full heretics lose one model running into melee, and there is the Doom Blast. Do they really want to fight this? Looks like they're going to stick it out. 442, 384. Fear looking to push power now. Noise Marines make short work of structures. Look at that. There's a smoke shell and another mortar shell. 442, 376. Very good disruption, as you can see, but not a huge amount of damage in tier 1 anyway. 373, another smoke shell and another mortar shell. Double artillery spotters being very annoying to deal with. Here come the Catechin Devils. Very versatile squad, have power melee, a good melee counter disruption, and a support smoke shell. Here you see Cacophony. Fear doing very well, keeping his own units out of range of that, and there is a mucus discharge, Breath of Nurgle heal. Saw a reliable grenade launcher there. Sentinel staying in this combat risky, does get the stomp, and looks like it will get away. Nicely judged stomp there by Kalzi. Noise Marine still in play there with 2 models, and I don't think this Gen Farm is going to survive. Down goes the Sentinel. Kalzi4 stop moving it. Smoke shell, mortar shell. Fear doing a reasonable job dealing with all these shells coming in, I think, and takes down that power. This is a very, very accomplished push from Fear, and there's the full retreat. Job done. Lord General meanwhile has been capping like crazy here. Forced off those heretics, it looks like. Has reinforced any retinue members he lost. And is now hitting power, or at least trying to. Here come heretics again, another Doom Blast. Gets away without losing a retinue member though. 442, 326, 221 cap for Kalzi. So good pressure from Fear, but Kalzi has the map big time, and he's going to decap east as well. Did lose his Sentinel. No, he's not. He's going to go for power, I think, with those flamers. These guardsmen can decap. Double spotters moving forward, harassing these heretics. You saw that shell did barely any damage because they were right on the edge of it. Damage falls off from the center, much like a fragmentation grenade. 442, 310. Tier 2 for both players. Fear going second. Another smoke shell. Was that double smoke shell there? Might have been. This big ranged blob that Fear has a Eternal War up on his Chaos Space Marines. and guardsmen running away. 442, 299 is a double cap for Kalzi4. West side, double spotters here. Here comes those Chaos Space Marines and Knights Marines though. Might want to back the hell off. Here we go. Lord General's there, doesn't have any war gear yet. And now Stormtroopers on the way. Kalzi4 has a lot of stuff to micro here compared to Fear. Only thing he has to micro really is movement to dodge all of these shells. Tons of smoke shells, and there is a creeping Basilisk barrage from the Lord General, but misses everything. Fear kept moving and dodged it well. Should turn around one squad and decap this VP, I think. Or the Plague Champion can decap it. He's going to hit power again. Heretics need to do some back capping this VP and this wreck point, which is fully matured for Kalzi. Stormtroopers on the field start off with their hotshot las guns. Can get an assault kit to increase the range and reduce the reload time of the hotshots, or an awesome anti-armor kit with melter guns and a melter bomb. Both kits also allow them to infiltrate. Assault kit also gives them a fragmentation grenade. There is Noxious Cloud, spotted by Kalzi. Does move a bit slower in elite, so he might not be able to catch up to them. Gonna get in base a little bit at least. 439, 225, 221 cap for Fear, and he's hitting power again. Manticore on the field though for Kalzi. What is this? It's Catachans hitting power with their shotguns. There's a mortar shell which misses. Is he going to upgrade both of his spotters? I can't tell. These guys have a plus icon, so I assume they're upgraded. The other guys also have a plus icon. Increases the damage of the starter mortar shell and also gives you incendiary shells, which is what you see here. Incendiary shells and the mortar shell share the same cooldown though, unlike the smoke shell, which is on its own cooldown. There's the Manticore strike, the first one. Looks like Fear spotted it early and retreated out. Catachans trying to get into melee with their power weapons, but can't take them all. Yes, they do take one Chaos Space Marine down. 408, 225. Might want to put another improvised explosive in this very common retreat path. 2-1 for Fear. Has Plague Marines on the way. Might try and just run those guys into base to take down the Manticore, since Plague Marines still reload at the same rate if they're suppressed. Heretics run away, all but one model loss, a lot of reinforcing to do. 393, 225. Guardsman capping Fear's natural power. Here's a shell, what is it going to be? It's the incendiary shell. Damage of a ton on the ground. It's a very, very powerful garrison counter. And decent enough versus light infantry. We do have an aspiring champion heretic squad here now. He'll be able to spot that improvised explosive, sorry. Stormtroopers still without a kit. Assault kit is on the way. Doom blasting heretics are in there though. There's the smoke shell. And he has to retreat, and he's lucky that Fear did a full retreat there. Would have caught those Stormtroopers in retreat, and that would have been nasty. Touch of Nurgle heretics now. Global ability of the Plague Champion, very, very powerful. Great synergy with heretics, with their aspiring champion especially, but these spotters are going to get away without a loss, I think. 375, 221. Now a heavy weapon squad for Kalzi. He has so much stuff to micro. Now has a fragmentation grenade from the Stormtroopers, has double spotters, has Catachans with all their stuff they can do. Maybe it's a good thing the Sentinel went down. It would have to micro the repair of that as well. Guardsman running away. Bloodletters now on the field for Fear soon. Looks like he cancelled his Plague Marines. There's the incendiary shout again. Heretics chasing down the Lord General. The aspiring champion does raise the health of all of the squad members slightly. And they take down one of the spotters. I think that's the first time he's lost a spotter. Manticore is still there. 375, 195. And it's firing on something. It's the contested VP, sorry. Looks like it's only going to hit the Plague Champion though. And two of them hit him, but he's fine. Still has that mucus discharge breath of Nurgle heal. Almost level 2 as well. Bloodletters teleporting into these Catachans. Demons with infantry armor have very, very nasty power melee weapons, and Catachans running the heck away. great benefits from worship since they are a demon, and Fear still does have that one heretic squad around. He lost the aspiring champion squad though. 375181. 1-to-1 cap. Decent VP lead from Kalzi. There's a creeping barrage again. Might hit those CSM if they can't move. Does hit them. But they're okay. Just very, very good disruption in this instance. Noise Marines still with their Sonic Blaster. They can get a Blastmaster in tier 2. An improvised explosive goes off. Blastmaster might not be the best idea though with double artillery spotters to shut them down. Here is a las cannon for some reason. Expecting a vehicle perhaps. Manticore strike. Misses everything. You see Kalzi4 spreading out the shots is what you generally want to do. A lot of new players try to put all 4 of the missiles onto a single squad or something, which is generally not going to work, because even if the first one does hit, it's going to send them flying and spread them out, so you want to spread out your shots as well. 375181. Noise Marines hitting power. Plague Champion just trying to hold up Kalzi, but takes too much damage from the Catachons. Of these guys level? Not yet. Space Marines taking it east. 373181. The Space Marines capping this wreck point. Level 2. Noise Marines in a bit of a tight spot. Catachons in their retreat path. But now they're getting Sonic blasted. I thought they were going to just force melee on them and try and take them down. So many shells going in. 357181. These stormtroopers not capping. Plague Marines are now on the field for Fear. Looks like he is going to take a run at that Manticore. Manticore very, very vulnerable with just 275 hit points. Another Basilisk creeping barrage. Third one I've seen. Fear has done a decent job dodging all of the stuff he has to dodge. These guys should be forcing melee. There we go. 341181. Guardsman in retreat. 2-to-1 cap for Fear now. Does have a reasonable amount of VPs to make up though. Another shell and another one. Looks like he's alternating the smoke and mortar quite well. Las Cannon is going to be forced off. Here come Plague Marines. These guys do damage over time with their bolters and have a snaring missile launcher, also very, very tough, and explode on death. 324181. Manticore is all the way in base though. More heretics from Fear. His 3rd squad or 4th squad is it? That's what heretics are there for. 317181. Chaos Space Marines still with their Eternal War. These guys down to 2 models. Plague Marines. Looks like they had a look at the generators. But here come Catachons. Are level 2 now. Here comes a shrine. It's going to be a Shrine of Nurgle, healing nearby allies and suppressing nearby enemies. Also allows you to reinforce if you worship it. Plague Marines forcing melee now. And there is the shrine, but heretics almost wiped from something. What was that? Completely missed what that was. There's the Manticore strike. And Lord General, way too much fire for him to deal with. Plague Marines can now cap those heretics. Just about survive. Bloodletters have died though. Stormtroopers are level 2. Perhaps they had something to do with it. 285181. That Nurgle Shrine won't heal as often, and it won't let you reinforce because it's not being worshipped at this time. And Fear takes the east for a 2-to-1. 278181.
Let's do it. So the generator is on.
Las Cannon pushing forward. Lots of smoke shells going in, and Noise Marines still doing very well in their default state. They do scale reasonably well, I think, with their Sonic Blaster. Stormtroopers running off. We have fully upgraded Guardsman squad here, level 3 with Commissar, Sergeant and Flamers. What about the other squad? These guys still with just their Sergeant and no weapon. There is the Storm Eagle Manticore strike again. Fear again dodges it pretty well. Las Cannon getting shots off. Spotters forced off again, and Kalzi4 I think needs some kind of line breaker here, some Ogrins to run in and get in amongst those Chaos Space Marines, because he's just going to lose firefights. There's a noxious cloud. 200 red for this thing. Controllable cloud of damage over time. And that was Aura of Decay, was it? Yes, from Armor of Pestilence. And here we see it go. Does some serious damage. Can he wipe those catechins? Not quite. And it's worn off. Does cause your enemy to fall back quite a lot, if nothing else though, even if you don't wipe squads or get losses with it. 248, 181, Manticore from close range. And a bunch of shells going in as well. Wow. Incendiary shell, smoke shell there as well. Manticore sitting pretty, hasn't got much XP, hasn't killed a whole lot of stuff. Nurgle Shrine is still up. Heretics can repair it. Here come those double spotters. Still both level 1, and it's tier 3 for Kalzi4. He actually has quite a lot of power, which is kind of surprising. Fear has been hitting his natural power quite a lot. In fact, he has no generators on it, and one generator there. The Shrine goes down to the las cannon. That's one thing the las cannon can do. What is Heretics up to? I don't think they want to push it. He's going to lose them, and does. 218, 181. Lord General now trying to decap what is forced off. Chaos Space Marines now have their aspiring champions. And they're a pretty solid anti-infantry squad with aspiring champion and eternal war. Don't necessarily need a mark. Big Manticore strike, the first one we've seen do any real damage. Took out 2 models I think, but they were both Marines, so that is nothing to sniff at. There's another Basilisk creeping barrage. Can Fear dodge this one? Looks like he has. Nicely done. Spotters have capped the east side, and there's more shells, and these assault kit stormtroopers getting shots in. Look at the range they have. Some nasty DPS, and there's their fragmentation grenade. Gonna hit the Plague Marine. Chaos Space Marines forcing melee on them. Their aspiring champion makes them pretty decent in melee since he has a bolt pistol and chainsword, so he can get special attacks and stuff. 198, 163, so 2-to-1 cap, reasonably close. Kalzi4 is now tier 3 though. Las Cannon can't really hit infantry reliably, which is why it's struggling to hit those Plague Marines. Here's another Manticore strike though, and they just decap and retreat in time. 198, 157, Noxious Cloud on his guardsman. Kalzi4 is alert to it though. And Las Cannon will take the contested VP Plague Champion. Now with his Plague Fist and Icon of Nurgle. Constant damage over time. I think it's every 2.5 seconds it ticks and does damage to surrounding infantry. You can see it going off on the Catechans. It is evenly spread though, of course, and there is Pestilent Strike now in amongst those Catechans. There's Aura of Decay as well. He can become a really anti-melee monster with this loadout. The Plague Champion forces off those Catechans easily, now up to level 3. Is he going to try and decap? We have the Sergeant Retinue member up on the Lord General, can distribute medical packs to heal allies. 198, 157. Noise Marines taken down. The Power Point and Chaos Space Marines capping very low on hit points, but they have all their models there. Noise Marines do it. These guys level 3 have done very well. Manticore still sitting pretty though. Haven't really seen the Plague Marines take a run at it. And Fear looking quite thin compared to Kalzi. This very interesting double spotter build with Catechans. Catechans level 2. Plague Champion uses Pestilent Strike, reducing the range damage he takes by a considerable amount. I think it's 80 or 90% damage resistance, I think. Doesn't last that long. 182, 157, now forced off, but does get away fine. Here come Chaos Space Marines level to 3. Can he get some models off these Catechans? Don't really want to fight them in melee, I don't think. What was that? A grenade launcher from the Lord General? It is level 4 Lord General. Plague Champion is level 3. And that's too much for the Catechans to deal with. Plague Marines were here. And it's Guardsmen capping east side, or at least trying to. Here come more Heretics for Fear. Here's some Nurgle Worship, 162, 157. There's Touch of Nurgle. Knockback damage and an area of effect heal. whenever a model dies in this squad now. Looks like he's not using Doom Blast, just wants to use them to force off stuff and scare it away. And Noise Marines will try to cap. There's an incendiary shell there though. 162-149. I hear a Manticore Strike. It's on a natural VP. Looks like it killed a Plague Marine, but they are fine. Manticore is here. Chaos Space Marines can't really do a whole lot to it. Maybe they can try and get melee attacks on rear armor, which is why Fear is forcing melee here. Catechins are there, as are Stormtroopers, and they have to run away. Manticore lives. 151-148. Noise Marines finish the cap here. Need to run now. There's an artillery shell of some kind. It's a smoke shell. And another mortar, I think. Yes. And it takes out a model. That's the incendiary, actually. Forcing melee on them. There is Cacophony. Does he have any support coming? Looks like he doesn't. Chaos Space Marines are coming though. 119-148. Fear has a triple. Noise Marines doing very, very well. Forcing off those guys. Another Manticore Strike. Hit once, hit twice, and that was a very good hit. Takes out a Chaos Space Marine and forces off the Noise Marines as well. Plague Champion is back out though. Does become reasonably slow with Armor of Pestilence. And he's switching back to his Icon of Nurgle because he also has Mucus Discharge. Commanders can freely change between War Gear that they've already purchased. Takes 20 seconds to switch, I think. 80-148. It's a 2-to-1 cap for Fear, but Kalzi will decap at least the east side. And look at this, he's brought the Manticore up. Obviously confident he can deal with the Plague Marines. Las Cannon taking out structures, but they're going to go down and do. 77-145. Lehman Russ on the way for Kalzi. Fear still in tier 2, and that Plague Fist is going after the Manticore. One more shot and down it goes. Big mistake from Kalzi to try and bring it up. He knew that a Plague Champion had a Plague Fist. Maybe he didn't know where he was though. You see Icon of Nurgle working on these guardsmen. Chaos Space Marines coming in. Thought they were going to force melee, but they're just going to decap. And Kalzi4 has his attention elsewhere because he took ages to retreat these guys, and he's going to lose them, I think. Yes. Plague Champion levels to 5. Kalzi4 busy harassing Fear's Natural with Catechins, and he did cap it. 77-94. He's a double here. Lehman Russ on the way as well. Will the Plague Marines be enough to deal with the Lehman Russ by themselves? There's a Noxious Cloud. The third one I've seen, I think. Maybe fourth. Forces off the Guardsman. Lord General's still here. You see the red circles there. That is a passive, slow debuff that the Plague Marines cause on nearby enemies. 77-81. So Space Marines getting shots off these guys. Level 3. Lord General might go down if he's not careful. He does level again to 5. It is the Lehman Russ getting the Elite Tank Crew upgrade. Gives them plus 100 health and 15 sight radius buff. 70-81. 2-ton cap for Fear. Has Havocs on the way. Now he knows he has a Lehman Russ to deal with. Probably a las cannon on that thing because Plague Marines can struggle to keep up with tanks, which are a bit more maneuverable in Elite mod. They're going to run right into that improvised explosive, and here come the Catechins coming out of infiltration. Catechins automatically infiltrate when they are idle for I think 4 or 5 seconds or so. Plague Marine is going to try and decap, but they're going to take so much damage from these guardsmen with plasmas. They're not heavy infantry, but plasmas will hurt you anyway. And he's going to lose his squad if he's not careful, Fear. Catechins is trying to force melee. Looks like they will get away with 2 models, unbelievably. Wow, that was very lucky not to get away with 1 at least. Another creeping barrage. We've seen so many of those. 45-81. It's a 1-to-1 cap. Chaos Space Marines fleet is so close. Still have these double spotters. Looks like neither of them have the tier 3 heavy mortar cannon upgrade though. More heretics for Fear. How many has he had? 5 or 6? Here comes that Plague Champion. Pestilent Strike is there. Catechins should have moved off a bit quicker than that. Easy for me to say though. And they're now in retreat. Guardsmen will try their best to decap with a full squad. Can they do it? There's Aura of Decay, which stops the decap with a knockback. And he manages to force them off. Nicely done. Chaos Space Marines now capping. So 2-to-1 for Kalzi, but for not for long. Might be a triple for Fear if he's lucky. No, not putting any pressure on the east side. Should be able to get a 2-1 at least. Perhaps. Here comes spotters. Can they knock these guys off the cap? There's the shell. They're just going to flee anyway. They decap though, so 1-1. 45-72 is so close still. Plague Champion could try and cap it with Pestilent Strike maybe. Leman Russ is still here. Kalzi has so much power. Havoc's on the field with Mark of Siege gives them a las cannon which will snare and heavily damage large targets. Mostly vehicles but also monstrous creatures and stuff. There's Noxious Cloud. Pestilent Strike also went off. Plague Champion is forced to retreat. And Noxious Cloud is working on the Lord General. 45-69. He's just standing in it as well. Another Basilisk Creeping Barrage. A bunker is up, but it's getting absolutely owned by the Noise Marines. Out level 4. Sonic Blaster, also a very good garrison counter, making short work of the spotters that were inside. Kalzi4 now looking slightly thin. Leman Russ can't really put pressure on the east side with Plague Marines and the las cannon there. 45-52. 2-1 cap. There's a smoke shell. Really could have done with some Ogrins, I think, in this game, Kalzi4. But this is what he has. Catechins level 3 moving in through Noise Marine fire. But they are forced off. Tried to put some melee pressure on those Cursed Space Marines, I think. Guards are repairing. And Leman Russ getting some serious damage off. Plague Marines, in fact, down to a single model and they're backing off here. No sign of a shrine for Fear. Chaos Space Marines do finish the cap though, so 2-1 for Kalzi because there's Fear's natural. The Lord General again. Fear's going to get the 2-1 back, I think, or is he? Can Kalzi decap here? Has another Manticore on the way. His Manticore was taken down by the Plague Champion, remember. I want to keep better care of this one. Plague Marines are there. Pressure on that Leman Russ. They want to finish off that Plague Marine squad, I think. Kalzi, but they have forced him off anyway. Havoc finish off the Leman Russ though. There's the Manticore strike. Boom. Direct hit on the Havoc down to a single model, but doesn't get hit by any other. And there is Cacophony to stop the cap. These spotters are level 4. I'm not sure if their mortar shell damage scales with their level. I don't think that it does, and they are wiped anyway. Another Creeping Barrage to stop the cap. 43-23, a single cap for Fear. Kalzi4 lost a lot of stuff. I don't think he can do this now. Losing that Leman Russ was a big blow. 38-23. There's another Noxious Cloud from Kalzi4. We've seen so many barrages and Noxious Clouds. Lots and lots of global usage in this game. There it is. Combined with Icon of Nurgle. That is scary, scary air effect damage. Can he wipe the Catechins? He does wipe the Catechins. There's a special attack from the Plague Champion. He's level 7 now. There's the triple for Fear, and this is the game. What an awesome 1v1. 6 and 23 is going to be the game, yes. There's the triple. Havoc was still around. Did the Plague Marines survive? Yes, they did. Back at base, reinforcing. Kalzi4's Lord General was level 5. Thought it was a bit odd that he got the grenade launchers so late. I think Ogrins really would have helped him out with some Chimera support perhaps. Plague Champion did awesome, level 7, almost level 8. Level 4 Guardsman too. Thank you for watching guys, I will see you next time.